What's going on, boys? As you probably already know, a new season dropped and it's definitely way different than we're all used to. So today I'm going to be highlighting 10 mistakes that you need to avoid making this season if you actually are trying to improve. The biggest mistake you need to avoid this season is not recognizing what's actively going on. Cars are super fast and the fists will get in your box even faster. In any situation, you absolutely need to be hyper aware of your audio cues. If you hear a car nearby, you need to make sure you aren't in a position to get run over. And if you hear an opponent swap to their fists or pop a nitro, you should immediately recognize the fact that they're about to try and get in your box. If you fail to recognize these things, you're guaranteed to just get fully taken off guard. The second mistake you need to avoid is playing too much ranked if you're looking for pure fighting practice. The current ranked meta isn't very skilled at all, so the best fighting practice is going to be high intensity creative scenarios and solo scrims. NA Opens hosts solo scrims all evening, and it's a pretty good way to really hone in on your wall-to-wall fighting. Although there are zone rules, once Surge pops, you can get a lot of realistic fighting reps just by rocking up on kids that are boxed up. The third mistake you need to avoid is not being high enough on height. The fists are crazy mobility this season, and you can almost go 70 meters straight up in the sky. Similar to how the height meta was when katanas were in the game, you have to be careful of people going straight up onto you. This season is very similar, but the main difference is the build damage that the fists do and the potential to knock teams off height. If you're able to take height, you have to focus on getting a really high layer so you don't risk getting griefed by kids fisting up. The fourth mistake you need to avoid is being on a low layer during endgame. If you're an established team trying to play ulti low ground, you're just asking to get psychoed by any scuffed team that has nitro or fists. The majority of players that need mats are going to be on very low layers, so positioning yourself a few layers up is going to be a much safer position to establish yourself in endgame. All it takes is one team to see freshly built weak walls and just decide to get in and wipe your team like it's nothing. The fifth mistake you need to avoid is not practicing your surge aim. If you've been playing scrims, you'll know that surge bases are everywhere and a good surge route and position is super important. But no matter if you have the absolute best surge base position, if you can't hit your ranged DMR shots or enforced AR shots, then it's absolutely useless. The best way to improve with a surge weapon is to use it as much as possible in ranked. Look for any shot you can take with your surge weapon just to get practice reps in. Being efficient at getting surge tags is a super important skill to master, so definitely don't skip out on your surge aim training. The sixth mistake you need to avoid is being too high for too long while rotating with your fists. With weapons like the Burst SMG, Combat, and Tactical AR in the game, people will completely fry you out of the sky while you're falling. Prioritize going outwards instead of up when trying to rotate. It's going to save you a lot of HP, and staying healthy on rotates is one of the best ways to make sure you don't get fisted in on by another team. Especially in duos, if you or your teammate gets cracked on a rotate, any team with double fists is going to abuse that health advantage and completely wipe you. The seventh mistake you need to avoid is picking a drop spot that doesn't have a lot of metal. With nitros and fists being so strong, it's important to have a lot of hard mats you can expand in solid metal. Even if you're fully established in brick, a team with nitros can just run straight through your boxes. Being able to farm metal from your drop spot and use that metal to establish your team is going to be crucial this season. Since fully built metal is 500 HP and nitro in is 300 damage to builds, it's going to take 2 tries for your walls to break, giving you a time to make a good counterplay and avoid getting jumped in on. The eighth mistake you need to avoid is taking bad trades. A lot of in-game 2v2s get determined by whichever team is put on defense first. If you give up a lot of damage and try to heal, 9 times out of 10, the offensive team is just going to nitro or fist into your box and kill you. You have to be very conscious of when you're potentially giving yourself up so you don't take a bad trade and end up losing the fight because of the initial damage you took. So definitely try to always get the initial damage so you can be in the offensive position and control the pace of the fight. The ninth mistake you need to avoid is letting your fights drag on for too long. Whether it's in competitive or ranked, long drawn out fights are never a good thing. The longer a fight drags out, the more resources you use and the more time you give third parties to roll up. Not only that, but when you aren't good at ending fights in ranked, if your opponent is losing the fight, they're gonna just run across the map, using fists, cars, nitro, and anything else they can find. I've seen a lot of players chase kids around the map, then when they begin fighting again, they realize they have no heals or resources and end up getting killed by a third party or end up dying to the kid they were initially chasing. Be proactive in ending your fight so you don't end up in a situation like that. And the final mistake you need to avoid is completely burning yourself out this season. There's a lot of new events like the Trio and Squad Cups, so your week is definitely going to be a bit more full of tournaments. This meta can be really frustrating, but make sure you stay on top of everything new that's going on so you can have the best chance at success in such a unique meta. I know a lot of you are already sort of stressing over the playstyle shift in competitive, but as long as you play in the moment and try to learn as much as you can, you'll be constantly improving this season and ready for a more skilled meta next season and into Chapter 2 OG Fortnite. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.